is performing in bed like he's auditioning for a part. His girlfriend is watching, she's bored, and he has no idea. Today, we fix that. Frame dominance and how you take total control of the bedroom. We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
It's true. It's damn true. Thank God it's Friday. Am I right, fellas? If you are new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer. I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. What we're covering today is something most guys figure out way too late. The difference between a woman who's completely into it and one who's just going along with it has nothing to do with your body or your technique. It's about who's in control of the experience. I'll let you know what that looks like. So keep watching. So all of these concepts are from the new book, which I can't say before the 8-minute mark, but you can read it right here. The gal's holding the book right there. It's got a picture of a eggplant of emoji. If you know what I mean, okay? We can't be adults until eight minutes into the program. But the thing is that I've been going back through my book, and it's weird. It's one of those books where I'm excited. I'm excited. Like my Keep Your Bish was a fun book to write, and because that was sort of like the culmination of what I wanted to help guys with in the space, right? I was at the point where I was like, I want to understand women, get better in relationships, get better at dating, get better in, maintaining relationships so that my problems that I had before never happen again. And so I was like, I want to be able to give guys the same tools that I've applied so that it's non-issue anymore, right? But then I wrote this book largely because like two of my biggest influences in this area that we can't talk about until the 8-minute mark. Two of my biggest influences were Erik Everhard, my good friend Mitch Hartwell, better known as Erik Everhard, who wrote the foreword for the book. His book, Unleash Your Sexual Superpowers, was an absolute game changer for me, right? But there was another book that was floating around in the space called The Sex God Method, right? The Sex God Method is very well-known book in the red pill space. But if you go on Amazon to get that book, Daniel Rose has it marked up to $700 for that book, right? He's priced it out of the market. Right. And so, and the thing is that Unleash Your Sexual Superpowers by Erik, the publisher that published it went out of business. And so he lost the rights to the book. So it's out of circulation. It's a damn tragedy. Right. And I was like, guys need this information, right? So I wanted to incorporate those guys' techniques, like physical techniques and all that kind of stuff. But what I wanted to really sprinkle into this book was more about frame, right? Frame in the bedroom. And then also I wanted to use some of my NLP techniques to really help you guys dickmatize your girls. And we're not at the 8-minute mark, so you guys are gonna have to send super chats because that's probably going to demonetize me. Okay. I really want, the goal of this book is to get women to be addicted to you specifically. Okay. That's the goal. And so today we're going to be talking about the frame concepts from the book. Okay. So the first one here is you want to reject the idea of auditioning. Okay. A lot of guys are going into relationships and going into the bedroom like they're auditioning for the job, right? They're auditioning for a part in the play. Okay. When you go into the bedroom thinking you have to prove your worth or earn her approval, you've already lost the interaction. Okay. It's the whole concept of the prize, being the prize. You're not a prize if you're constantly trying to check with her to see if you're the prize. Okay. That's validation seeking behavior and it's unattractive. We went over all that kind of stuff on Wednesday. Okay. What you're doing is you're putting your girlfriend or wife in the position of judge, which forces you into the role of the anxious performer trying out for the part. Okay. If you're going into it trying to impress her, hey, did you like this thing I did? Are you enjoying this experience? Did you come yet? Like you're constantly asking for that kind of shit. You're going to ruin the experience for her. Okay. Absolutely going to ruin it. So frame means you got to reverse this dynamic. You got to reverse it entirely. So you operate from the assumption that your presence, focus, and skill are deeply valuable assets. Okay. You know that she's having a good time because you're the man. All right. I'm the fucking man. I know it. Oh God, we're not the 8-minute mark. Guys, you're gonna have to send super chats today. I'm the man. I know what I'm doing in here. I have real skills. I've studied this stuff. I've internalized it. I just recorded chapter 10 last night, right? Chapter 10 is the title of it is called Advanced Bedroom Dominance, which if you just read that title, you would think it's all about DS, like putting her in handcuffs and all this stuff. We covered that earlier in the book. No. Chapter 10 is about building an identity around this stuff, right? You want to ingrain this so much into your subconscious that this is who you are. I am the best she ever had, the best she ever will have, the best she ever, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Okay. That's what you want to be. You want to be the Bret Hart of the bedroom. All right. That's what we're developing with this stuff. Okay. So you want to have that mentality going into the experience, right? You're not there to be evaluated. You are there to provide an incredible experience reliably every time, every single time that she can't get anywhere else. Okay. The moment that you stop auditioning, your movements lose their hesitation. You stop checking her face every 2 seconds for validation, and you can actually connect with the moment. All right. Now there is some nuance to this stuff because a part of the book is about, feeling her body out, reading her physiology to tell you, what you're doing, where to keep going, where to pull back, and all that kind of stuff. That's not validation seeking behavior. That's like a pilot piloting an airplane, checking the fucking gauges. Okay. But if you're like constantly looking for approval, do you like this? Are you enjoying yourself? Right? Like that's weak behavior. It's unattractive. She's not going to be into that. Okay. By the way, guys, do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday without fail. So there's anxiety is contagious. Okay. Did you know that? Anxiety is contagious. Women are really good at, we talk about it on the podcast a lot. Women are really good at picking up on subtext, right? They're really good at picking up your body language and your tone of your voice and reading things. And they could tell when you're up in your head about stuff. They could tell when you're anxious and nervous about the situation. They feel that makes them anxious and nervous about the situation, right? It's like how dogs smell fear. It's the same kind of thing, right? Like if you walk up to a dog and you are nervous about that dog possibly biting you, he's more likely to bite you, especially if he's somewhat of an anxious or aggressive dog himself. He'll pick up on your anxiousness, feel anxious towards you, and then want to bite you, right? But if you ever watch The Dog Whisperer, that's a great show about frame and training your girl. If you put it in that context, because that's what he's doing. He's creating the dominance frame around the dogs, where the dogs immediately respond to that. Okay. That's what you need to develop in yourself, is to be that guy. And so when your girl starts acting up, you go, right? Don't do that to her. But if you're in your head worrying about your performance or you're second guessing your next move, your body language becomes jerky and uncertain. And your woman will pick up on that nervous energy instantly through your touch, your pacing, how you're fumbling around, how you're asking what she wants to try next, if you're asking her if she wants to get into different positions and stuff like that. So what happens next is a transfer where you pass your performance anxiety directly onto her. Instead of relaxing and melting into the experience, she gets yanked into her own head to manage your discomfort. Right? Right? This is a big problem that guys that are new to the wolf pack, when they come in and they're describing their experiences and stuff in the bedroom and stuff like that, a lot of it is this type of problems in the bedroom, right? Like, where you need to get your woman out of her head and into her body, into the experience. She needs to be able to relax into her feminine and just enjoy herself. Okay. But if she's all up in her head because you're acting a certain way, it's taking her out of the experience and it's ruining it for her. Right? Like, women experience orgasms up here. It's all up here. But in order for them to do that, they have to clear out all of their own neuroticism and anxiety and shit like that. Women are fucking neurotic and anxious as shit all the time. All right. Like, they worry about everything. Right. That's just their women brains. Okay. If you're that kind of guy, if you're worried about everything, you're constantly neurotic too. You're acting like a woman. FYI. So holding frame means bringing a calm, unshakable certainty into the space so she feels secure enough to drop her guard entirely. And if your frame is stronger than her stress, she will naturally match your wavelength. Okay. This is all a part of leading the entire experience from start to finish. Okay. You are in charge of this situation all the time, every time. So one of your tools at your disposal is pace control. One of the things that we talk about in the book is pace control. Okay. Now, this is NLP. I was telling the guys in the Wolfpack this, I was mentioning it at the beginning of the show, but there's a lot of NLP tactics in Dick Her Down Right that it really speaks to her subconscious mind. Okay. A lot of this is to get her addicted to you, for one, but a lot of it is to get her out of her analytical mind and into the experience so that she can just enjoy herself. She can relax into her feminine and have a wonderful experience. Okay. So pacing is a part of NLP. I don't know if you guys know that. Pacing is an NLP tactic. All right. So most guys let the momentum of the moment dictate the speed. They rush from one step to the next until the encounter is over. But frame in the bedroom means you are the one who decides when things accelerate and when things drop to a complete crawl. When your wife or girlfriend is building towards an orgasm and you deliberately slow down your movements to sustain the tension, you're demonstrating complete authority over the experience, right? You're refusing to let the urgency force your hand. Now, there's some nuance in this book, okay? Because like I said, I'm using a lot of Erik Everhard's techniques and stuff like this. And I'm also using a lot of Daniel Rose's techniques in this book. And there's some bumping of the heads there. So you need to understand this nuance before you get the book. But Erik Everhard, and I think Erik is spot on with this, and it's both. It's a mix of both things. And this sort of came up when Erik gave a presentation for the Wolfpack, because Brother Dale was asking him about edging your girl and really withholding her orgasm, and so that when she finally has it, it's a big deal. And Erik's not a big fan of that. He's not a big fan of that. He's like, no, that's a lot of dancing at the 1 yard line, he calls it, right? Dancing at the 1 yard line before you score a touchdown. What you need to be able to do before you can start doing this edging thing is you need to be able to reliably bring her to orgasm every time. So that's where Erik's techniques come in, right? You need to be able to know what you're doing to always have this happen on purpose every time, instead of just accidentally hitting the right angles. You know what? This is bothering me. Hold on. Let me look at that. I think I know what's going on. I had my lighting set for Telegram last night. Hold on. There we go. God, I was like, what? Why am I all washed out here? All right. AI, don't clip anything before this part. All right. That'll help. That'll help on social media. Okay. So what we're going back to Brother Dale and edging. Erik Everhard's not a fan of that, because his whole thing is you're basically dancing on the 1 yard line. You want to be scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. So his thing is about reliably bringing her to orgasm. Once you can do that and you know exactly what you're doing, then yeah, start doing edging, right? Start doing the edging technique to bring her almost there and then pulling it back and denying her. And because this is a part of controlling the experience, being dominant in the bedroom, being like, you're not allowed to come until I tell you, right? That sort of thing. That sort of thing drives them wild. Okay. Now, you guys got to be careful. And I talk about it in the book, but you guys got to be careful about doing some of this stuff. You don't want to do this every single time. You don't want to be edging her every time you go to the bedroom, because anything that you do repeatedly over and over and over again becomes boring and predictable. And boring and predictable will kill the anticipation factor. Okay. So a lot of this book is also about always having her want that anticipation. That anticipation is dopamine, right? That's dopamine. You want to be her dopamine drug dealer. Okay. So yeah, edge her occasionally, but then switch it up and do something else, and instead of a 2-hour long orgasm fest, you do a 20-minute bang her hard, but bring her to orgasm quickie, right? Or take her to a somewhat public space, right? In the back of your car, in the gondola, in Telluride, Nurse Chick, you know what I'm talking about. You want to do that kind of stuff occasionally too, to always keep her on her toes, always keep her guessing, because that anticipation of, I don't know when this is going to happen, but he's going to fucking take me. And then he's going to give me the craziest orgasms of my life. She's going to be addicted to you. Do you understand? So this sort of thing works in the bedroom too. You want to pace and control, but I wouldn't worry about some of this stuff until you've gotten the hang of consistently bringing her to orgasm, right? So you need to mix those elements in and then build on that stuff, okay? It's going to be a work in progress. She's going to be your sculpture that you're chiseling away at, okay? Little by little. You're going to train her. A deliberate pause. So there's immense power in just stopping mid-encounter without pulling away or breaking the sexual connection. When you just slow completely down, look directly at her in her left eye, make eye contact with her left eye, okay? And then just let a heavy beat of presence hang in the air. The psychological intensity will spike her emotions, okay? Just in the moment, everything's hot and heavy. You pause for a second and just make intense eye contact at her left eye, and then proceed. Okay. You're not stopping because you're tired or because you're about to lose control. You're withholding the next wave of stimulation purely because you chose to, which shows an incredible level of dominant restraint. Okay. That brief freeze forces her to sit with the raw sensation of being completely possessed and wanted at the same time. It breaks up the mechanical repetition of standard intimacy and introduces highly intentional weight to the moment. Okay. This isn't just a physical experience. This is an emotional experience. This is a neurological experience. This is a physiological experience that we're creating. Okay. So let me ask you guys this. Be honest. Be honest. Maybe not with your current girl, maybe with a past girl, whatever. We're not judging. This is the trust tree. But have you ever noticed her checked out during sex and you had no idea why? Drop a yes or a no in the chat. If you're watching the replay, drop a comment below. Okay. Yes or no. Have you ever noticed this? Maybe, and this yes or no could be, with a past girlfriend before you learned all this stuff, because you're a fantastic lover right now. This is a past girlfriend, so we're not judging. We're not judging here. Yes or no? Have you ever noticed that she's checked out during sex? So, in order for a girl or a woman to surrender to the experience, surrender, completely just enjoy herself, relax into her feminine, and just allow herself to be taken, it requires some structure. Okay. It requires you to create this experience that she can enjoy herself in. So a lot of guys, they want their woman to let go, scream, lose her mind during sex, but they fail to build the environment that allows it. A woman can't fully surrender her control unless she feels like she's leaning against something solid. Okay. This is a frame. Okay. This is why you have to have a dominant masculine presence. This is why you have to have frame, because women want to rest in your frame. If you ever read Gif Lasta's book, The Way of Men with Maids, which is a Christian red pill book, he describes frame as like you're the clamshell and she's the oyster that wants to rest in the clamshell. That's your frame. And if you don't have this, she's not protected in that shell. Okay. So if she senses any weakness, any hesitation, passivity in your leadership, her brain will stay online to direct the encounter herself, and she will remain in management mode instead of physical submission mode. You want to get her out of her conscious mind. Okay. When you take total responsibility for the logistics, the positions, and the transition, you free her from having to think at all. Your structure is what gives her the safety to finally let go. Now, a lot of you guys who have been following me for a long time, you've been working on this from a position in your everyday life with her, right? You want to be in a position where you're setting the tone and leading the relationship in a way where she just doesn't have to think about anything. She doesn't have to worry about anything. Her only job is to show up looking hot. Okay. Now, yeah, you might delegate certain tasks to her, like maybe she does the laundry. Maybe she does all these little things. Maybe she takes care of the kids, but you create an environment where that stuff doesn't feel like work to her. That feels like her natural, what she wants to do. And she's loving life. And you take everything else off her plate because you're controlling everything. Right. And even if she does manage certain things, you're still telling her how to handle all that stuff, so she doesn't have to think about it, because women suck. They suck at making decisions. They suck at trying to figure out what needs to be done. If they have a million things to juggle, women all think that they're wonderful multitaskers. They're not. They suck at it. And then they get neurotic about it, and they're all on antidepressants because they're all fucking running everything, right? Like, they are not in their natural feminine state, which is to relax, show up looking hot, and be protected both physically and emotionally by a dominant man. Okay. So when you can provide that in the bedroom too, she's able to relax more and enjoy the experience. Right? Women's bodies are built for pleasure. They have more nerve endings in their clitoris than you do in your penis. They are built for multiple orgasms. You're really only built for one. They are designed to receive pleasure from a dominant man. They are designed for it. But if you can't get them out of their fucking heads, they won't enjoy the experience. They'll be checked out. They'll be wanting to fucking scroll their phone while you're railing them. They'll be like, no, go ahead, do whatever you need to do. Like that's not an enjoyable experience for anybody. Okay. So part of this, I talk about it in Keep Your Bitch, but you want to always be practicing the 80-20 rule when it comes to a balance of alpha traits and beta traits. Now, this only applies in a long-term relationship, which I would venture to say most of you guys eventually either want to get in or you're currently in, right? If you're just out spinning plates and you don't give a shit and you're not trying to get locked down by any of this stuff, any of these chicks, and you don't want a full-time girlfriend, you just want to spin plates forever, then fucking 100% alpha all the time. Just fuck these chicks. You don't need to do any of this stuff. Okay. Although doing this stuff will keep your plates around longer, just FYI. But if you're just doing all alpha stuff and you're just fucking them and forgetting them, like, they're not going to want to stick around for that. They're not going to, I don't care what anybody says in this space. No, they're not going to want to stick around for that. Okay. So if you want to keep a rotation going indefinitely, you're going to want to apply this stuff to all your girls. Okay. But most of you guys only have one. Most of you guys will only want to deal with one. Right. So you got to understand the 80-20 rule when it comes to alpha and beta. Okay. You got to have 80% alpha traits: dominant masculine presence, assertiveness, decisiveness, controlling the experience, like all that kind of stuff. Right. But then you do want to sprinkle a little beta on it. There's like the whole thing about stopping mid motion, staring at her in her eye is about creating a physical, or it's about creating emotional intimacy. That's sprinkling a little beta on it and then getting back to the alpha. Okay. When you're done having sex with her, you want to be present in the moment and not just roll over and go to fucking sleep. Okay. That's really when her body is flooded with oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone, right? You guys watch Paul Benjamin at all? You guys maybe hear talking points online about women's ability to pair bond, right? That's where pair bonding happens, is right after orgasm, right after sex. In that moment, her body is flooded with oxytocin. She wants to feel close to you, and that's the perfect time to bring her in, do the aftercare shit, right? Tell her how beautiful she is, all that kind of stuff. Okay. You want to be able to do that. So true bedroom dominance is not a monolithic display of rough aggression. It relies on a specific breakdown where 80% of your energy is firm physical leadership, where you take charge of her body with full authority. The remaining 20% consists of deliberate, highly focused moments of presence, intimacy, like a hand on her cheek or looking into her left eye. This contrast keeps the experience from feeling cold and careless, like you're just using her. She doesn't want to feel used. She wants to feel connected, right? So without that 20%, raw intensity just feels detached and aggressive. And when you blend the two, the firm handling lands as deep desire because she knows you are entirely locked into her. You understand? Or at least she feels that way. Okay. She wants to feel in that moment like the only woman in the world. Okay. If you can make her feel that way, that's sprinkling a little beta on it. Okay. The dominant stuff is exciting for her, but you got to sprinkle a little beta on it so that she feels more bonded to you. You understand? So physical identity over individual behaviors. There's a massive gulf between a guy who has memorized a few bedroom techniques and a man who has internalized a dominant sexual identity. That's what I was saying. Like, I was recording chapter 10 last night. Chapter 10 is all about that identity. And the goal of the book is to give you that identity. And I call it in the book being a sexual tyrannosaurus. Okay. And that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. But if you've ever if you ever watched the movie Predator, Jesse Ventura says, he's putting a chaw in his mouth. He's like, this stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. So I was like, that's what we're going to call it. Right. All right. But if you want to be a sexual tyrannosaurus, all right, you gotta create an identity around being this kind of guy in the bedroom. And a guy relying on tricks will fumble the moment he gets tired, stressed, or thrown off from his rhythm. When ownership is a part of your identity, you don't need a mental script or a checklist of moves. You simply show up as a capable authority. I want you guys to think about this for a minute, okay? Anything that you've ever been good at, anything that you're currently great at, it took a little bit of time to get there. And at first, you had to worry about the mechanics of it, like the specifics of it, the step-by-step instructions of how to do things. But eventually, over time, you got to a place where you could see everything from the big picture. You just know how everything works. So when one thing doesn't work right, you don't even think about it. You just go, oh, I know how to troubleshoot this, right? I know how to get into this. I know what to do. You don't even have to think about it. It's full confidence, right? It's like, God, when you're driving a car, right? When you're driving a car, when you first are learning how to drive, you like, especially if you've had to learn stick shift, right? You have to learn like how to time the clutch right. And okay, I got to listen to the engine. I got to watch the RPMs, and you're doing all these different things. And when you're first doing it, you're grinding gears and shit. You're stalling the car out. It's all a pain in the ass. But now if you got into, like 20, 30, 40 years later, you get into a stick car, you just go, oh, okay, cool. And then you just fucking do it. And then you're driving, your mind checks out. You're not even paying attention because you are the ultimate car driver, right? Like you've done it so many times, you don't even have to think about it. That's an identity. Like you're a car driver. I'm a driver. I don't have to think about it, right? You want to be the sexual Tyrannosaurus where you don't have to think about it, right? You're diddling her bean and the bean's not being diddled right. You could feel that because you could see that it's not getting stimulated. So you just naturally just switch things up and go, okay, well, let me try over here. Okay, that's working. All right, let's go with this, right? Like you just know. You want to get to that place where you just know. All that stuff takes repetition and practice, okay? So like all my other books, I invite you to read or listen to this 10 to 15 times just to really the whole idea behind that is to take this information and make it a part of who you are. Okay. You eventually, Rollo calls it becoming the game. You eventually want to become the game. Eventually you want to become the sexual Tyrannosaurus. Okay. By the way, we've been talking about this book. We're largely talking about all the frame concepts in this book. Guys, 1 week out, paperback, hardcover, Kindle editions available. You can pre-order the Kindle edition right now.
Have you ever had sex and honestly wondered, did she actually enjoy that, or was she just going along with it? Because chances are she's had better and she remembers it. What if I told you there's a way to make sure you're the one she can't stop thinking about? Most guys think good sex is about stamina or size. It's not. The men women are genuinely obsessed with aren't the biggest or the longest lasting. They're the ones who know exactly what they're doing. They're not fumbling around hoping something works. They walk in with a plan. They read her body. They control the whole experience from the first move to the last. And when it's over, she's not thinking about sleep. That's not some rare natural talent. That's a skill set, and it can be learned. Dick Her Down Right is the no-nonsense manual that breaks down exactly how women's bodies and minds work during sex, how to take charge of the experience like you actually know what you're doing, and how to become the man she's telling her friends about. Not the guy she had an okay time with, the guy she keeps coming back to, the guy she'd do almost anything to keep happy because what he does to her is in a category by itself. Every technique, every approach, every psychological principle is laid out straight. No theory, no filler, just the real information that makes the difference between average and unforgettable. Dick Her Down Right drops on Amazon and Audible this June. Any man who wants to be better in bed and have any woman he's with completely hooked on him needs this book. Get it in June.
1 week out, guys. So I finished recording chapter 10 last night. I've got to go back and edit it today. That editing's the worst part. Editing's the worst part. And if you guys know how I flub up while I'm talking on the podcast, I trip over my words all the fucking time. Imagine reading an entire 5 or 6 hour book and trying not to do that. I fuck up all the time. So I'm constantly like, it takes each chapter. This is going to be a thick book, thick, like the brothers like them, you know, with 4 C's maybe. This is going to be a thick book. And so each chapter is like 40 minutes long. And so it takes me about 50 minutes to record it because I'm fucking it all up. And then it takes me like an hour and a half to edit out all the fuck ups. So FYI. So I got to finish editing chapter 10. I still got to record the conclusion, but I should be able to get this all knocked out by tomorrow and then and upload it to Audible. ACX is the company behind Audible. So I upload them tomorrow, which probably means for the audiobook, it's probably going to be a June 5th or 12th ish release. And what's great about Kindle and the paperbacks and hardcovers is I can specify a date. I know exactly when that's coming out. It's coming out next Friday. But for audiobooks, it's like, up to 10 working days, right? Like 10 business days, fucking, whatever up to, right? Because they gotta QC it, make sure that people aren't gonna hate it. Not because of the content, but because usually like the audio quality, that's really what they're looking for. Content's fucking great. I don't mean to toot my own horn, guys, but toot, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, okay, get back to this bullshit. Actually, let's take a look at the chat first. Dar Fitness says, happy Friday, gents. Resilient Man Coaching, that's brother Nathan. He wrote a phenomenal book, by the way, guys. If you're getting ready to go through a divorce, get his book, Divorce is War. And check out the interview that we did a couple of months back. We talk all about it. He also says, getting Wolfpack, best group around. Great hangout last night. Frame Fridays. Hell yeah. Frame Fridays. And and then, Darfit has said this twice. Happy Friday, gents. Guys, by the way, too, if you guys want to lose weight, you guys are interested in the ketogenic diet, Darfin is coaching on that too. Both these guys are in Wolfpack, so you guys can join the Wolfpack and connect with them in there, and then work with them directly if you want. If you're already in the Wolfpack, hit these guys up. Darfin just goes by Drake in the Wolfpack, guys. So just DM him or whatever, or hit him up, ask him questions in the fitness accountability group. He's a wealth of information. Great hangout last night, getting the Wolfpack. Yes. And then Darfin has also sent $10,000 super chat to shame these whores.
Shame these whores.
Yes, we've got to absolutely do that. And then brother Nathan sent $2,000, $2,000 US, cross T technique. Because he knows what the cross T technique is, I'm going to give him this one.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Definitely fucked. Yeah, I talk about the cross T technique in Dick Her Down Right. It's an Erik Everhard trademark technique. So all the Erik Everhard techniques are specifically called out. Erik Everhard's trademark, diamond foot formation, stuff like that. You guys will be like, diamond foot formation. Just get the book. You'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's about when your girl gets on top, it's about creating the base to where you can control that situation while she's on top. So she's not dominating you. You're still being dominant. She's just in a different position. The diamond foot formation provides that base so that you can fuck upwards better. Okay. Get the book. You'll understand. Woody Riley from Facebook says, what's up, brother? Can't stay long. Have a lot to do today regarding the divorce. I'll update you later. Yeah. Hey, break a leg out there, man. And then brother CW says, gents, what's good? The hangout last night was great. Getting the group, fellas. Different subgroups to specialized topics. Absolutely. Remember, women tend to mirror your vibes. That's true. And then CW says, oh yeah, I can tell. Okay, cool. All right. And guys, if you want to own that pussy, get the book. Okay. Pre-order on Kindle. So there's a big thing that the book addresses, and this is stuff I learned from Erik Everhard too, just because he was in the business for so long. He's filmed, over almost 4,500 sex scenes over a 25-year or so career, right? 4,500 women, right? That's crazy. That's a ridiculous amount of bodies that most men will never, ever achieve in their entire life, okay? But he did it for a living, right? And then on top of that, he's also had a personal life where he's done a lot of this stuff, done a lot of orgies and all that. What crazy. It's talking to this guy offline it's just like sitting under the learning tree. It's fucking awesome. I love this guy. Right. And so in the book, he says total, it's around 5,000, right? It's around 5,000 bodies. But one of the things that he specifically talked about in Unleash Your Sexual Superpowers that I wanted to incorporate in Dick Her Down Right is that a lot of guys get their idea of what's great in the bedroom by watching The Prawn, right? We can't use the P word on YouTube, but it rhymes with corn, okay? So the idea of the physicality that you see in these movies doesn't really work in real life. And it's certainly not pleasurable for the woman involved. Okay. Like it looks cool, but that's why they do it in those movies, is because it looks cool. It's for the camera, right? Like when you're going down on a chick, if you try to do it like they do in the corn movies, you're not going to do anything, right? Like a lot of times in those movies, they have the shot sort of like where the guy's away from her being, because they have to be able to show the whole vag, right? And so the guy will be like licking from like 2 or 3 inches out on the beam. That's not really going to do much for her. Okay. So some of the sex positions in the corn are completely useless. Okay. There's one that I think a lot of guys think looks really cool. It's like where I think it's called the pile driver, where you have her basically on her shoulders and her hips are way up in the air and you're fucking downward. Your dick doesn't even bend that way. You got to bend your dick down just to get down there, right? Okay. And so it's uncomfortable for the actor doing it. Like this is I talked to Sterling Cooper about this too. They both agree. Like this is not effective in the bedroom. It looks cool in the movies though, right? And so you got to understand that like what you see in the movies isn't as effective at getting her off as doing some basics. Okay. One of the things I talk about in Dick Her Down Right is that missionary, even though it's the most like it gets a lot of negative comments and stuff on social media. It's probably the most boring and basic position ever. It's one position that a vast majority of women say is their favorite position, just because of the angles and stuff like that. And so you have a lot of control over what you're doing in plain old missionary. Okay. There's a lot of things that you can be doing that can be making the experience pleasurable for her. And it doesn't have to be this big fucking show that you think that you have to do because you've learned all this stuff from watching the corn. Okay. So you got to let go of what you're seeing in the corn and do what's effective in the moment. Okay. There's only really like 4 really effective positions that you can really use that consistently get the job done. Okay. The rest is all just theatrics and shit like that. I think we did an episode on last week on Tuesday for one of the brothers in Wolfpack, and he was saying how he wanted his wife to like hold her legs a certain way, and it was hurting her. Like she didn't like it. And he was mad about it because he thought that she was, making rules for betas or whatever. It's like, no, man, she's giving you honest feedback. Like this isn't working for me. Like, let's try something else. Right. So you got to understand, like, some of this cool shit that you've seen in movies is just not doing it for her. Let go of that stuff. Let go of your ego. Let go of trying to be a performer and do what works. Okay. Like like one of the things that they do in porn movies, which I think it looks cool in porn, but I said the P word. Guys send super chats. They're probably going to demonetize me. It's where like the girl is sort of like on her stomach, but she's up on her knees and she's holding her legs like this, or the guy is like holding her arms back behind her back and like, finisher kind of thing. Like, I don't think a lot of that stuff isn't that great. You know what I mean? But if you can get her down and then you get up a little bit higher on her and you're hitting from the back, but on a downward angle, right? Like that's hitting her G-spot. That's a more effective thing. It's less production value, but it's more effective at getting her bean diddled and getting her G-spot stimulated. Okay. So let go of the stuff that you see in corn. Let's do what works here. Okay. And then what's fascinating is that your girl almost will never, ever tell you that you're not doing it right. Right. She won't verbally say it. And I've been putting out a lot of posts on social media lately saying how, 62% of women say that they're completely unsatisfied in the bedroom. And all these guys are crying about it in the comments going, well, they should tell us what to do. Communication, bro, communication. Okay, look, we all agree that communication probably would help. Okay, but women just don't do that shit. They just fucking don't. Women will also say communication is a key to a healthy relationship and then completely go silent when they're not getting their bean diddled right. Okay, you can't rely on communication. You can't. Just understand, women just don't do that thing. That's not what women do. Okay, so what women will do is they will either fake orgasms, they'll fake like they're enjoying it, they will just start slowly checking out and just start acting like they're not into it. They'll start having a headache every night, like all this kind of stuff. All this stuff is her communicating with you that you're not diddling her bean right. All right. AI is going to clip this. So if you want communication, that's it. She's giving it to you. It's just in nonverbal communication. Okay. Because she expects us to read her fucking minds. No, she's expecting you to be perceptive of her body language, which most guys aren't. If you ever read Atomic Attraction by Christopher Canwell, they did studies on this where women are vastly more perceptive to body language and tone and stuff like that, but specifically body language. They put men and women in a room. They had men and women watching videos with the sound off, and they were supposed to guess what was happening in the moment strictly by watching the interaction of the people and watching their body language. And something ridiculous, like 75% of the women knew exactly what was happening in that moment by the body language alone. And only like 15, 20% of dudes could figure out what was happening. The rest of the guys were absolutely clueless, had no fucking clue. Okay. Men and women speak completely different languages. And if you want to bridge the communication gap, someone has to learn the other person's language. Okay. It's like if you are going to travel internationally, what you'll find is that most people in other countries speak English. Okay. Most people do. I went to Sigonella, Sicily once, and not a single fucking person spoke English there. That was challenging. It was very challenging because then you're like pointing at pictures and stuff, and you're trying to like do makeshift hand sign language and shit to get stuff done. It's very ineffective. But if you're like both people are expecting you to know their language, you're just going to get frustrated, right? Someone eventually has to learn the other person's language to bridge that communication gap. Okay. You as the leader, you might as well learn some body language. It's really not that hard. All these guys make everything sound fucking hard online. Years ago, I remember some guy in the comments going, oh, so what? We got to take a fucking, 2-year CIA body language course to read her mind. Like, no, bro. Like you can watch a 20-minute YouTube video and figure most of this shit out. It's really not that fucking hard. Okay. And you just have to be perceptive. Be perceptive. If she visually looks like she's not into it, she's probably not into it. Okay. It's not that fucking hard. Okay. So you don't need her to verbalize that you're not fucking her right. That's just going to bruise your ego and start a fight anyway. Okay. So just take the feedback as she's giving it and adjust accordingly. All right. The overflow of bedroom certainty. So one of the things I talk about in the book is that a guy who is truly just killing it in his relationship, killing it in the bedroom, he takes that sexual energy and he applies it in all areas of his life. All areas of his life improve. There's a reason why at the beginning of the show, as I say, I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make you better men in all areas of your life. This is a part of it. Because if you know consistently that you're dicking your girl down right, she's completely obsessed with you, right? I'm gonna give something away here, okay? When I go to sleep at night with Nurse Chick, right? Like after we do our thing, okay? She rolls over to kiss me goodnight. She's like, I love you, I love you. I'm gonna go to sleep or whatever. And then she goes down, rubs my dick, and she's like, I love you too. You good night, right? Like If your girl's not doing that, you need to get the fucking book. Okay. I'm not bragging here. She literally fucking does that. Okay. I'm not making shit up. Okay. That type of confidence carries over in everything I do. Okay. I come on the show and I don't give a fuck, right? I don't give a fuck because I know I'm doing everything I need to do in all other areas of my life. Okay. That kind of confidence carries over to your work life. You can tell when a guy is just, in his office, if he's just worn down, the job's grinding him down. He goes home, his wife or his girlfriend's grinding him down. Like, you can tell these guys just look like they're fucking beaten, abused dogs. It's because they don't have a life that they could be having. And a lot of it starts in the bedroom. It's really wild how this works. It kind of goes back to what I talked about last Friday, right? Like all attraction in the universe, okay? Everything starts from sex energy, okay? That's a little esoteric, but it's wild how it actually shows up in everything. If you are exuding sex energy because you're consistently, getting lots of sex because she's, addicted to it. And then she is just walking around glowing all the time because you're dicking her down, right? Like, everything's fucking wonderful. Like, the whole world is amazing. It's almost like we were designed for this. Okay. It's fascinating stuff. Not trying to get into the woo-woo today, though. By the way, guys, do send some super chats. I did let some things slip that will probably get me demonetized today. I could really use your help here. Oh, chapter, now I got to look. Hold on. I think I got it open here. Yeah, I got it open. Chapter 8 is on exploring her fantasies and kinks. Okay. Your girl has filthy, dirty, blow your mind, will make you look at her in shock, dirty, filthy fantasies that she will never share with you because if she said them to you, you would look at her in shock. I'm just pausing for a moment because AI is going to clip that. But it's true. If you ever read the book, My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, that book, I couldn't even finish it. Because, like, I got the gist. There was such atrocious shit in that book that I was like, okay, I get the point. Women are fucking dirty. Okay. What was fascinating about that book is, and I talk about it in Dick Her Down Right, is that Nancy Friday, this was back in the 70s, like late 60s, early 70s, I think. Nancy Friday wrote this book, and it was all on women's sexual fantasies. And at the very beginning of the book, she starts it by saying how she was at a dinner with several couples, and they were talking about her book idea and how she was planning on writing this book. And it was a book on women's sexual fantasies. And this ignorant husband, looks over at his wife and goes, "Women don't have sexual fantasies. Why do they need sexual fantasies when they're married, when they're happily married? You don't have fantasies, do you, honey?" And his wife, in the moment, feeling judged, was like, "Oh no, of course not. Don't be silly. And so Nancy Friday saw that, recognized it for what it was, because women are really good at picking up on body language and tone and shit like that. She knew that lady was fucking lying through her teeth. But that lady didn't feel safe enough emotionally to express her desires to her husband. Her husband is judging her for having those, right? I also talk about in the book the concept of the Madonna horror complex, which I'm going to go into depth on Wednesday with Morgan May, my friend Morgan May. She's coming back on the podcast. Y'all love Morgan. We're going to talk about that on Wednesday, but she's got these hidden fantasies that she will never share with you because she's afraid of being judged. Okay. And a lot of you guys will judge her because of your Madonna horror complex. Now, the stuff that I said I couldn't finish Nancy Friday's book, it wasn't because some of those stuff weren't like highly erotic and I would be totally down to do with Nurse Chick. I'd be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, let's do that shit. Let's try that shit." Nurse Chick and I, we're watching The Boys. You guys watch The Boys on Amazon, dude. Some of the dirty shit in that is like way out there, right? Just far out there. And so when Nurse Chick and I are watching this, I'm like, our sex life is pretty fucking tame. Like we need to incorporate some of this dirty shit. But I'm just kidding. But no, like some of the stuff in Nancy Friday's book that I like turned me off was she talked. A lot of women had fantasies about child diddling. Some of them had fantasies about bestiality, stuff like that. I just couldn't. I was just like, fuck this. I can't deal with this, you know. But other stuff like was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that, you know, turning someone on, sure, for sure. But she's afraid to tell you all this stuff because she's afraid of being judged. So she doesn't want, she doesn't, you have to be able to make her safe in the moment. And a part of that is by leading her through new experiences. Okay. I talked about this online, and dudes are afraid to do this because they're afraid of grape, you know. Me Too movement weeded out a whole bunch of beta guys that are afraid to do anything. Okay. And that was the goal. The goal was to make women's lives easier, not have to sift through the betas to find the guys that are perceptive to body language and that can make them feel like okay with their dirty side, you know? And so that's the thing. You have to, the way you do that is you, if there's something you want to try in the bedroom, just feel it out, feel out the situation and just see if she responds to it. If she responds to it, keep going. If she doesn't, pull back and change gears. No big deal, right? But this is all being perceptive because she wants to try certain things. If you start doing those things and she's into it, she's going to thank you for allowing her to experience this fantasy that she's always wanted to do, but was too afraid to bring up because she thought you would judge her for it. Okay. Now you also have to be the kind of guy that doesn't blab his mouth to everyone in town about what you've done to her and what she's capable of doing. She needs to at least feel that you wouldn't do that to her. You need to make her feel like she's not a weirdo for wanting to do these dirty things. Okay. If you can make her feel that way through your leadership and through your frame, she's going to open up more and be like, let's try this now. I've always wanted to try this now. Right. You do that incrementally by introducing new things yourself. Okay. It's the same thing as picking the place for dinner. You start introducing things that you want to do and then test to see if she's receptive to it. If she's not into it. Okay. Don't proceed. Okay. Nothing I've ever said on this podcast will get you a grape allegation. Nothing. Okay. If you're just fucking perceptive of her body language, pull back when she's not into something and then proceed when she is, you're going to be fucking fine. Okay. Stop being a chicken shit pussy. AI is going to clip that too. Incremental escalation. So this is a part of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you know, but if you don't introduce new elements, edge or kinks into your relationship by just jumping straight into the deep end. Okay. You've got to rely on incremental introduction. Do it a little bit at a time. We already talked about that. Okay. Now also, dirty talk is your best friend. Chapter 7. Yes. Chapter 7 is all about dirty talk and role play. Dirty talk and role play is your best friend. A lot of you guys are fucking silent in the bedroom. Absolutely silent. You don't even make a fucking moan. Okay. There was a video a couple years back of a chick talking about guys who make noises in the bedroom are so hot because that's bare minimum. That's bare minimum. Most guys are silent in the bedroom because they've been conditioning themselves since they were like 12 years old, jerking off in their bedroom into their sock, that I don't want mom or dad to hear me, so I've got to be quiet. So they're fucking silent, just right. So when you're fucking her, you're looking at her with the stone cold expression of a serial killer. That's not a turn on. Okay. So bare minimum is at least be making some moans and groans that you're enjoying the situation. But dirty talk is completely underutilized by most guys. Most guys are afraid to do it. They're afraid they're going to turn the girl off. You got to understand, it's not about what you say necessarily. It's a lot of it's about how you say it and your confidence behind it. Like, do you believe it? If you believe it, she believes it. Okay. So you've got to learn dirty talk, and a lot of that stuff will break her out of her inhibitions. And then if you introduce some role play stuff, and that doesn't even have to be like, a lot of guys, when you say role play, a lot of guys are like, oh, so what? We got to go to a fucking costume store now. I got to go get a fucking, I got to go get a quarterback outfit and get her a cheerleader outfit. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Okay. It's all about theater of the mind anyway. Okay. You could just in the moment start pretending some of this stuff. Okay. Now, if just like I was talking about with her dirty fantasies, you introduce it incrementally. Okay. You just start saying stuff like, I'm a police officer right now and I'm arresting you. Like, you can just literally say that. It doesn't take any fucking equipment. Okay. It would help if you had some fuzzy handcuffs or some shit, but that's a different part of the book. Okay. But you want to be able to introduce that stuff incrementally. And the more you do that, you incorporate dirty talk, use her left ear. Because I learned that from Alan Roger Curry. It's the same thing as the left eye trick. Some guy on Facebook was losing his mind about pseudoscience. Like, look, don't take my word for it. Try it. The guys who have tried this stuff and stopped looking it up on fucking AI, does the left eye matter? Does the left ear matter? Just fucking do it. It's like magic. It's like fucking magic. It's wild. So yeah, maybe there's no study on it. Maybe AI doesn't know about it, but AI doesn't fuck anyway. Okay. So just try this shit. All right. Talk dirty into her left ear. It's all about a whispering tone in her left ear. The idea of it is it goes to her inhibition side of her mind, and it allows her to really experience the situation. The more you do this stuff, the more dirtier she's going to feel. She's going to want to be with you. Okay. The more she's going to open up and go, it's safe to do this stuff with this guy, and it's fun to do this stuff with this guy. This guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Okay. It's a little bit over time. Right. By the way, guys, we had our Wolfpack hangout last night. And if you weren't there, you fucking missed it. There's no recording. Bear Club? Not anymore.
Wolfpack, you fix what's broken. You lead like a man again. No pity, no therapy. Just fire, just flame. Cold bed, broken home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not heaven. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
Indeed. Too sweet me, guys. Darvin says, Nancy Friday's book is proof. It will disturb you. You're not wrong. There is absolutely a line I won't cross. There's lines that you probably won't cross. The key, though, is, like I said before, you introduce the stuff that you're comfortable with. Okay. And a lot of guys are fucking dirty, like we're dirty, but most of you guys aren't out there trying to bang dogs and stuff. Okay. So you're probably not going to introduce that into the bedroom, but you're probably going to want to introduce some of this other stuff, and she'll know where your line is by where you're willing to go. Right. So you lead that experience the way you want it to be. Like I said, it's just like the dinner debate thing. When you start picking the place, you get to eat wherever you want to eat all the time. It's magical. Okay. So you do the same thing in the bedroom, lead her the way you want things to go. If she's not into it, pull back. Don't get hurt by it. She's just not into it. Try something else. She might be into something else, but you'll find that a lot of women really have a broad spectrum of what they're willing to do. Okay. But you've got to make them feel safe enough for them to do that. Right. Phil says, okay. CW says, too sweet, baby. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. All right. All right. I have a whole bunch of other notes here. I'm just going to like quickly name these off. Atmosphere outlasts action. Let's see here. Oh, a lot of the time, a lot of the book too is about building up the experience when you're with her all the time, you know, which I talked about a little bit last week, but you basically, every interaction with your girl, you want to create this experience where you have this sexual tension with her all the time. Okay. That's about atmosphere. It's not about mechanics in the bedroom. It's about how you're showing up and just your various interactions with her. You have to have uncompromising discretion. You don't want to be talking about all the dirty shit that you're doing with her. You know, a big reason, one of the guys in Wolfpack asked not just me, but a bunch of other guys in the group. He says, why do you guys hide your girls' faces online and stuff like that? Like a nurse chick, I always put a hard eyes emoji over her face. For one, that's exactly how she looks at me all the time. She's just madly in love with me, right? But two, I want to protect her anonymity. She has a professional career. She's working to be a nurse practitioner. Like she doesn't need fucking creepos from the internet doxing her. Oh, she's the girl that's with that red pill guy on, you know. So I do that to protect her. So when I share certain things about Nurse Chick and I, like no one knows who she is, you know. Very few people know who Nurse Chick really is. And so it's not that big of a deal, but like the average guy doesn't have that kind of buffer between their girl. And so like if you blab about shit like that online, like she doesn't want that stuff out there. She won't feel safe to share stuff with you because she knows you're going to blab to everyone. And women are very much wired to protect their self-image, protect their reputation. You know, they're wired for reputation protection. And so if they think that you're going to be that guy, they're not going to feel comfortable opening up to you. Okay. You got to have a professional mindset when you're in the bedroom too, that you're there to do a job well. Okay. That's another part of the frame. By the way, guys, follow me on social media. I'm on all the good platforms. You know, I posted a clip yesterday of like me talking shit about X, and it's like a lot of people are saying, yeah, I've deleted my X account, you know, all that kind of stuff. Fucking TikTok, like they flagged that video as violating guidelines, and then they put a strike on my fucking account for putting that on there. Isn't that wild? That's wild. Anyway, transgression as an escape. That's something I talk about in the book too, right? There's a reason why women like taboo stuff. They like being tied up in the bedroom. They like fucking out in public and stuff like that. The transgression itself creates excitement for them. Okay. The transgression of possibly getting caught, of doing something we shouldn't be doing something that shouldn't feel this good, makes the experience better from a neurological standpoint. Okay. If it became normal, it wouldn't feel as good. Okay. It's wild. It's wild. If some of this stuff was normalized, women wouldn't be into it because you lose the psychological aspect of doing something you shouldn't be doing. Okay. So you want to use that kind of stuff to your advantage. You know, I was having this conversation with Mitch, Erik Everhard, before asking him to write the foreword to the book. We had a Zoom call like a month or two ago. I can't remember what it was, but we sat down, we were just shooting the shit, talking about stuff. And we ended up talking about this stuff. And he was saying, he goes, you know, in the problem with the red pill space is the overemphasis of dominance in the bedroom. And he goes, yeah, that's one lever. That's one lever of getting a woman to enjoy the experience, is being physically dominant. He goes, but there's another lever. And he goes, and that's excitement, right? Be like the thrill of danger is also a part of you know, getting a woman to really love the experience. Well, part of that is through the transgressions, right? Using transgressions. So you want to, don't be just having sex at 10 p.m. in the bed every night. It's fucking boring, and doing it like clockwork is boring as fuck. You got to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to write a follow-up book to Dick Her Down Right. It's going to be a much shorter book. I don't know when I'm going to do it because my next book series is going to be on zeroing out. It's going to be on dealing with guys' negative mental issues like depression, anxiety, resentment, and stuff like that. I'm going to do a whole series on them. It's going to be the zeroed out series. And I don't know when I'm going to start writing that. I'm just like right now, I'm just trying to finish this book. I've already got another book that I'm almost done writing. I had to put that on hold while I'm working on the audiobook. That one is going to be on esoteric stuff, which I'm not going to be promoting as much. I'm just going to put it out there. But that one should be coming out in August, maybe. I don't know. But the next book that's going to be sort of a follow-up to Dick Her Down Right is going to be called, like, I don't know. I haven't figured out a title, but it's going to be something along the lines of Bang Her in Your Truck, right? And it's going to be all on fucking in public, right? Just and it's just going to be like, you know, different places that Nurse Chick and I have done things in public, right? Where but then, like, you know, the whole story about why that's exciting for women to periodically do weird shit like that. Okay, so we're going to talk about, I'm going to do that later. But the transgression, it's sort of an escape from reality for chicks. Okay. Let's see here. I think that's the last concept here we'll touch on, and then I'll let you guys go, is the roommate trap. Okay. When a man completely relinquishes his bedroom frame over time, intimacy drops to zero and the relationship slowly transforms into a sexless arrangement. You become platonic roommates who happen to share a mortgage and a last name. And most guys try to fix this disaster by working backward, buying gifts, doing more household chores, or walking on eggshells trying to appease her. And none of that works because it completely ignores the root cause, which is the total erosion of raw sexual polarity and leadership. Okay. Now, get her to fuck you again is what addresses that from a relationship standpoint overall. But Dick Her Down Right, it talks about that same framework from the bedroom perspective, because it's all connected. It's all one big experience. Okay. And a lot of it starts in the bedroom. Okay. So you can't chore play your way back into desire. It doesn't work that way. The only path out of the roommate trap is to rebuild your masculine frame between the sheets from the ground up, proving you are still the man who can handle her. Okay. So a lot of that shows up in the bedroom, but if she's not fucking you, you got to start here first, which I do say in Dick Her Down Right. I said, if she's not fucking you right now, learning more techniques isn't going to help because she's not fucking you. She's not going to want to try the new techniques. So you got to turn things around first, then come back to Dick Her Down Right and learn how to dick her down. So like once she starts responding and wanting sex again, now you got to be a better lover so that she wants to keep coming back to that. Okay. That's the goal of the book, is to keep her coming back, to get her addicted, get her dopamine addiction associated with you. You want to be her dopamine drug dealer. Okay. Whew. All right. That's all we got for this episode. We definitely went over. There's a lot of stuff to cover here. There's a lot of stuff in the book. It drops next Friday. Links in the description. You can pre-order on Kindle now. Tune into the podcast on Monday. We're up to chapter 8 in Keep Your Bitch, the Keep Your Bitch mini-series. Chapter 8 is all about navigating long-term challenges and changes. Okay. Not very many relationship books cover that sort of thing. So that chapter alone might be worth the cost of the whole book, which, let's be honest, you'll spend more going out to eat these days than buying one of my books. Okay. So I've got tons of books out there now, right? Although all my books are available in the description, but everyone goes through this shit, right? If you were with a girl long enough, life comes at you, and how you handle it matters. How you handle life's challenges matters in the moment. And a lot of guys don't know how to handle things well. Their frame isn't strong enough to handle things well. She stops trusting your leadership because you don't handle things as well as you should be. But like deaths in the family fucking ruin guys, financial loss, job loss, medical problems, all that kind of stuff will come up eventually. So you got to learn how to handle that shit, right? So we're going to talk about that on Monday. That's all I got for this episode. I don't see any new chats in there. Do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.